What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel as well as on Twitch, so make sure you come by and say hello. This video is also brought to you by my music, which is available anywhere you stream music under the name Aftersound, and I did release a new song recently called Run, so check it out. Let me know what you think, and I appreciate the support. Okay, guys, let's talk about the spellbook purchases. And actually, I'm also going to start covering signups, although I only have this month worth of data. So we'll get to that. We'll probably get to that in the next time I do this video. As you can see here, I guess I'm just kind of doing at the beginning of every month so far. I mean, outside of November, where I started towards the end, I think this just makes the most sense in terms of a cadence. Like, I could do it every 2 weeks to take advantage of like the 14-day window, but that seems like too often. So as you can see here, the most recent data that I have is all the way on the right side, and yeah, you can see all of it. So that is for February 5th, 2005. And again, this is going back to the end of 2024 with November and December data. But we don't even really need to look at the November data too much, just because this was like, not even 2 weeks here. But let's take a look at a couple of things. So if we look at the 180 day, right, you can see, well, actually, if you just look across the board, everything compared to last month, right? So I'm looking down here. Everything in 2.5 or for this month compared to January and compared to December is higher, and like significantly higher too, right? So we're looking at the 180 day, which again goes back 6 months, and you can see that it's been on a steady incline, right? We went from 1.8 per day to 1.97. Now it's 2.38. You look at the last 3 months, which includes this time period that I started tracking, and we went from 2.07 to 2.44 to 3.31, right? Again, significant. Again, this is the daily average. So this is like an additional 30 plus people that are grabbing a spell book per month. Where this starts to get interesting is when we take a look at the 30-day and the 14-day, because the 30-day is going to give us, exactly all the new data that we have, right, since January 4th when I last collected this. And you can see it is significantly higher, right? So 3.83 versus what we had in January. And really the thing is, like, this is actually, so the January data, right, 1.4 is actually mostly December data, right? The January date, 1.4, I took the data, but it's really looking back the last 30 days, which was mostly December. So if you compare this, right, we're at 3.83 per day, which is, again, we can round up to 4 at that point. It was an average of 3 back in, we'll just call it December at this point. And then if you go back into November, which was like the early, let me put it this way. If you go back to the December data, which was really pulled from all of November, this was 3.1. So we did regress a little bit, but I explained this the last time that there was a lot of hype and excitement in November after Trump won the election, and Bitcoin was going crazy, setting new all-time highs, right? It was during this period where we were flirting with 100K. I think it was a little bit after this that we hit 100K exactly, but it makes sense to me that on the 30-day and on the 14-day specifically, right? So like the second half of November here, this was significantly higher, where it was at 50 spellbooks across 14 days, 3.57 of an average. That did go down in the month of December. And again, that snapshot was taken on the 4th. Now, again, I explained this all and said, it's the holidays. People probably weren't paying much attention, right? We're talking about the last 2 weeks of December here. But now here we are during the month of January, where things have actually been relatively slow. It has been brutal for crypto. It has been fantastic for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is ranging at its all-time highs, right? Or around its all-time highs, but it has been brutal for the rest of crypto. And it's not just Splinterlands, right? It's not just SPS. It's like everything is struggling right now. Yet you were seeing a significant rise, right? We're almost at 4 per day, which I know may not seem like a lot, but again, if we're talking about this from the standpoint of new people entering the game and willing to pay for a spell book across the course of 30 days, we used to be, right? We used to be at only about like 2 per day, probably even less than that. And in the course of the last 3 months, we've doubled the amount of people that are interested and want to pay at least the $10 to check out what is going on, right? And then specifically in this last 2 days, we've seen, or not 2 days, but in the last 2 weeks, the 14-day, you're seeing that ramp up even higher, right? So the last 2 weeks versus the previous 30 days, we'll call it, we're still seeing that increase, which is, in my opinion, a very positive sign. Again, slow and steady. We have not released any of the major things that we wanted to release, and who knows when that stuff is going to come out, but at least the natural, organic discovery of this game is starting to be felt, and we're seeing that in the numbers, despite crypto being down, despite the narrative being whatever, and despite just all of the craziness that was January in crypto, right? Now, like I said, I am starting to track the sign up data as well. And so again, there's like so many like peaks and valleys here, that I don't really know if we'll get solid data from it, but just quick insights. You can see that we have been increasing the amount of signups. Again, this means that people made an account, but they did not, they made an account, but they did not buy a spell book, or at least not yet. So again, I guess we're seeing a little bit of a decline here in, what is this? The last 2 weeks. Yeah. So this is going to be the 14-day, but overall, I mean, I would say that it's still significantly higher than where it was, in terms of like the average rolling 6-month average, rolling 3-month average. So I'll continue tracking this as we go along, and I'll see if the sign up data ends up being something that is valuable to us. But at least the spellbook data, which we know is people spending their hard-earned cash to play this game and to earn in this game, that continues to drive higher and higher. And I cannot wait to see what the data looks like in March, when hopefully we have some new mode and something else going on in Splinterlands, but we shall see. So that is all I have for you guys in this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Otherwise, I will catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.